Hi folks, welcome back. Here we have you can see that the logger info, this is the method in your controller. So here I have wrote one logger.info method starter, and before returning this I wrote a logger again method end. So if I have one more method, like here you can see save is a one method. If I need to want the logger again I need to write one more logger, like these two lines again. In the starting I have to write, and the before and I have to write this method end. So here I have two more classes, there also I need to write two more method, there also I need to write. So here we want to centralize all these logs which are common. If you want to centralize all these logs, then what is the solution? So the solution for that is Springboot AOP, aspect oriented programming. So before going this, let's if you run this one, what will happen? It will going to print this logger in the starting of the method. If you call this method, so it will print the logger here, and after completing the method it will print this logger. But I want to centralize all the logs, so for each and every method I want to write only one line. That line should affect to all the classes. So for that we are going to use Springboot AOP. So how we will develop that configure Springboot AOP into our Springboot application, let me say. So first we need to add a dependency, that is Springboot starter AOP. We can simply copy this dependency and paste here, just change actuator to AOP. Okay, no need of version and all, the parent will manage the version. So currently our parent is 3.1.1. so again the Springboot starter AOP of version 3.1.1 will download by the Maven repository. From the Maven repository you can check it here in the Maven dependencies. If you scroll down, Springboot starter AOP, you can see here 3.1.1 is downloaded. Okay, so once the dependency added, you can navigate to one more class. You can create one package if you want. Take one class. Let me I have wrote this comment previously, let me uncomment it. Control A. Okay, so here I need to uncomment these things. So these are done. Let me uncomment this around also. Okay, fine. So first of all, what we need to do, how we will write the centralized loggers, which means we have different concepts are there. That is, first of all we need to we have some classes in this object or AOP. That is one more one class is this this is the interface, which is proceeding join point. Okay, proceeding join point. So in this join point we are going to get all the data, which means what is the class name, which means if you want to get the class name, just remember this object mapper I will say. So if you want the class name, then we should, how we will get means pz dot get target dot get class dot get name means then we will get the class name. So the next method name, how we will get method name, pz dot get signature dot get name, then it returns the method name. So if the arguments, if you, for that method if you pass any arguments, you need to print that arguments, means you can simply pz dot get args, it will give the arguments. So once I get all these, I got the class name, I got the method name, I have the parameters. So now I want to print a logger, that is log.info. I is nothing but enter, which means invoked. So while entering I am printing this logger, class name and method name with parameters. So if you want to properly format your arguments, I am going to use this object mapper. I am using the method write value as string. I am passing the parameters in this. What it will do, it will organize my arguments into proper JSON format. Okay, fine. Next, if you want to return the response, so the response is going to getting from this method proceed. So once the method got executed fine and it is going to return, then we are going to get in this response and passing it in the object mapper. It will format our code and it will print the logger. This is out logger, this is in logger. Okay, so out I gave return, so I am returning the response. So now the main issue, how this class will know where it has to print, from which classes or which methods or which from which packages the loggers has to print, the logger has to affect. So that will be declared here, which is nothing but point cut. You can see here point cut. Point cut means we are going to specify our things. So my base package is com.amazon.client. okay, here you can see my base package is com.amazon.client. in that package, after that, any package, any class, any method, it can print it. So in any method, the method should lies in any package of any class. This logger should affect. This is what I specified in this point cutter. So I gave this point cut name here in the @around. @around nothing but it will take all the, we have different types of annotations are there to print the logger, that is before, after, return, throws, everything we have. But I am taking this generic one, which is around, which applies to all the things. So I took this @around. So what it will do, it is going to affect this logger for all the methods and all. So let me remove this logger here. If I have removed this logger here, I'm going to restart my application. So before restarting, I will say while restarting, I have added a dependency. I have wrote one classes, that is central logger. In that I have gave this point cut, and I gave the point cut in the around annotation. So once yeah, you can see here my application got started. So we will see I have cleared the console. Let's hit this URL. okay, so URL is nothing but localhost 7022 get wishlist. That is nothing but our second one. You can see in the controller get wishlist method. So I am hitting this endpoint. So if I hit this endpoint, so I got the result. okay, so we will check the logger whether it is printed or not. Let me make it big one. okay, so here you can see, first of all, I invoked, which is client controller get wishlist method with parameters empty. Why? Because we are not passing any argument, so it gave empty. So after that, from the controller class, it got service, it has invoked. So the product IMPL service has invoked. After entering into the product service, it is going to return. So it has out logger is printed. After that, in the controller, it came back to controller again, and in the controller it printed the out logger of the controller. You can see the response of the controller here. This is the service response, and this is the controller response. You can see headers are null. In the body we are getting this data status 200 row list. So that is what you can see here in the output. We saw, right, the same status code 200, everything, the same thing is printed in the logger. This is how we need to centralize our loggers. Thank you very much for watching. If you really think this video is useful, please do like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.